Picture this. 476 AD. The last Roman emperor is about to be kicked out by some barbarian warlord named Odoacer. Rome? Done. Game over. Roll credits. But what if things went differently? What if Romulus Augustus wasn't just a timid teenager? What if he was actually competent? Our story begins in 475 AD. Young Romulus Augustus has just taken the throne, with his father, Orestes, running the show behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Odoacer and his Germanic army are marching straight for Rome. In our history books, Romulus just gives up. But in this alternate timeline, Romulus has a plan. "Dad," he says, "what if we actually tried to save Rome?" Orestes laughs. "That's crazy." "Crazy," Romulus insists, "or brilliant. Let's bring back mandatory military service." See, Rome had stopped conscripting citizens. Instead, they hired barbarian mercenaries fighters who cared more about gold than glory. Romulus had been reading the old histories. Back in the day, every Roman citizen served, and everyone had skin in the game. Now it's time to do it again. Advisors protest. "You can't do that." Romulus just smiles. "Watch me." Within months, Roman citizens are being drafted rich and poor alike. Senators' sons sleep in mud beside farmers. "This is outrageous," complains Senator Marcus. "Your son will learn to love the mud," replies General Fabius, a battle-hardened veteran Romulus put in charge of training. When Odoacer finally reaches Rome, he expects the usual mess: corrupt officials, lazy mercenaries, and a boy emperor hiding behind his father. Instead, he finds 50,000 angry Romans armed with spears. What's this?" Odoacer asks his lieutenant. "Looks like Romans," the lieutenant stammers. "I thought they didn't fight anymore." Apparently, they changed their minds. The battle is brutal, but here's the twist. Romans fighting for their own homes? They fight harder than anyone could imagine. Odoacer gets crushed. Romulus doesn't stop there. He tackles Rome's other problems one by one. Corruption? Gone. Taking bribes is tradition, protests an official. So is crucifixion, Romulus quips. Taxes? Streamlined and fair. "Wait, I can't hide my money in Gaul anymore?" asks a wealthy merchant. "Correct. Pay up or join the army." Infrastructure? Massive public works projects, powered by all those newly trained citizens. Rome isn't just saved, it's reborn, stronger than ever. "I signed up to fight barbarians, not dig roads," complained a recruit. "Roads help you fight barbarians faster," his centurion replied. "Now grab a shovel." By 500 AD, Rome was on the rise again. Populations were booming, cities were growing, and trade was thriving. But something unexpected happened thanks to the new mandatory military service. It created an educated, disciplined population. Every Roman soldier now learned to read, write, and even do basic math. "Why do soldiers need math?" asked a baffled barbarian prisoner. "Because smart soldiers win wars," said his Roman guard, who was casually solving engineering problems in his downtime. By 600 AD, Roman engineers were constructing stronger bridges, better roads, and more efficient aqueducts to support the growing population. While Europe drifted into the Dark Ages, Rome was entering a renaissance. 800 years early, Roman scholars preserved and improved Greek and Roman texts, inventing new technologies along the way. "Look, I've discovered a better way to make steel," announced metallurgist Lucius in 650 AD. "Great! Now our swords will be sharper," said Emperor Constantine III. "Actually, I was thinking plows. Even better. Sharp plows, happy farmers." By 800 AD, while Charlemagne was trying to revive the Roman Empire, the real Rome was thriving. When Charlemagne's ambassador asked if he wanted to be the new Rome, Emperor Marcus replied, "Thanks, but we never left. we are still Rome. Here's where history takes an even stranger turn. Rome's military culture fostered civic duty. Every citizen served. Every citizen voted. Every citizen mattered. By 1000 AD, Rome had developed a system resembling representative democracy, but with its own distinctly Roman twist. "I propose we let women vote," suggested Senator Julia in 1054 AD. "That's ridiculous," shouted Senator Brutus. "My wife commands a century." "She can vote," replied General Maximus. And just like that, Rome entered a feedback loop of progress. Better government led to better policies. Better policies fueled prosperity. Prosperity improved education, and education produced even better leaders. While medieval Europe was still struggling with crop rotation, Rome was inventing mechanical clocks, advanced metallurgy, and superior siege engines. "I've built a device that tells time using gears," announced inventor Claudius in 1150 AD. "Why?" asked his assistant. "So soldiers can coordinate attacks. Farmers can plant crops on time." "And it looks really cool," Claudius replied. Fast forward to the 1400s, when the European Renaissance hit. Romans were baffled. "They're rediscovering classical learning," reported Ambassador Felix from Florence. "We never lost it," said Emperor Constantine V. "Should we tell them?" "No, let them figure it out." Meanwhile, Roman universities were pushing the boundaries. Experimental science, advanced math, and early printing presses. While Constantinople and the Byzantines were falling, Rome stood strong. When Columbus sailed west in 1492, he was surprised to find Roman trading posts already established in the Americas. "How long have you been here?" he asked a Roman merchant. "About 50 years, but I discovered this continent." "You discovered that we were here," the merchant replied. Rome's advanced shipbuilding and navigation had brought them to the Americas decades earlier. They were already trading with the Aztecs and Incas. "Your gods are intense," observed Roman trader Marcus to an Aztec priest. "Ours, too," said the priest. "Yes, but ours don't require quite so much." "Enthusiasm," Marcus added. When Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses, Rome was dealing with its own religious reforms. The empire had developed a form of Christianity that emphasized civic duty and military service. "Christ was a carpenter," preached Bishop Augustus. "And carpenters build things for the empire," shouted the congregation. Churches doubled as community centers, and priests also served as teachers and engineers. So when Luther's ideas reached Rome, he wants to reform Christianity?" asked Emperor Julian IV. "Yes, your majesty." "But our Christianity already works fine," the emperor replied. By 1600, Roman universities rivaled any in Europe. Roman scientist Galileos, not to be confused with Galileo, was studying astronomy, physics, and engineering, keeping the empire centuries ahead of the rest of the continent. "I've upgraded the telescope," announced the scientist. "Excellent. Can it spot enemy armies better?" asked the funding committee. "Well, yes, but I was mostly thinking about studying the stars. Stars don't invade. Focus on armies." This military-first mindset actually supercharged scientific progress. Every invention had to serve a practical purpose. While Britain was just starting to tinker with steam engines, Rome had already been using them for decades. "I attached a steam engine to a cart," said engineer Fabius in 1750. "Why?" asked his supervisor. "To move supplies faster, and to terrify enemy horses with the noise." Rome's industrial revolution was unlike any other. It was centrally planned. The government decided what got invented and how it would be used. "We need better weapons," ordered Emperor Constantine XX. "How about better ways to grow food?" suggested inventor Marcus. "Food doesn't kill barbarians." "Well-fed soldiers kill barbarians better." "Good point." "Do both." When American colonists rebelled against Britain, they looked to Rome for inspiration. We want a republic like ancient Rome, declared Thomas Jefferson. Ancient? We never stopped being a republic, replied Roman Ambassador Felix. We still have a senate, we still elect magistrates, and we also have an emperor. That sounds complicated. It works for us. The Americans ended up building a hybrid system, mixing Roman traditions with Enlightenment ideas. Fast forward to Napoleon trying to conquer Europe. I will recreate the Roman Empire, he declared. Good luck, replied Emperor Marcus III. We never left. The war was bizarre. Napoleon's forces were trained for conventional European battles, not disciplined Roman legions, armed with rifles and artillery. Rome relied on the Fabian strategy, avoiding direct battles and cutting off supply lines, just like Russia had done in 1812 in our timeline. Harassed on all sides, starving, and unable to force a decisive battle, Napoleon's army was forced to retreat. Why do they fight in these strange formations? Asked a French general. They're using ancient tactics with modern weapons. Does it work? We're losing. By 1800, Rome controlled the Mediterranean, had colonies in Africa and the Americas, and was a major industrial power.